call to order the meeting of the West Bend Community Library for Tuesday, September 16th. May we stand for the Pledge of Allegiance, please. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Okay, I would like to ask for a motion to do the consent agenda, which is the library board meeting minutes from August 19th and the August expenditures for 2025.
I so move.
Barb moves,
I'll second.
Joseph seconds. We have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda. Is there any discussion?
There is one correction that needs to be made.
Okay.
Item 4 under the library director's report, the very last item.
In the
says-
minutes.
Yes, in the minutes.
Okay.
Says that the train chiller to be replaced in December 202 and should
Oh.
be 2025. We did send it right to the city. I think it was just a copy paste error when they were putting it in this format.
Okay. Oh, okay. Okay, any other discussion, questions? If not, we have a motion and a second to approve the consent agenda with the modification to the meeting minutes to correct the date under the
Train chiller.
train chiller. All in favor, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Financial reports, Joseph.
Yep, we had 9 cents of interest in the program checking and $47.06 of interest in the money market account. We got a grant from the Washington County Charitable Foundation for $875. And then we paid 2 checks going out. One was for Language Lizard and the other one was for Nazia Karimi.
What was that?
That was for the Afghan program.
Display, yeah,
Yeah.
displaying.
The Language Lizard, I believe, was a youth program.
I believe so.
And the Washington County grant, that money was given to the library because there's a plan in place for next Mother's Day to, I'm not sure, it wouldn't be on Mother's Day.
That's a different grant, but yeah. this
That was
is-
Washington County, I was involved in that one, that's Joan.
Oh,
That's Joan Woznicki's.
okay, well, that's
So-
that one then.
That's
And then there's a
that-
different one. for this. This is a question, we had to check for a grant that we didn't,
Really?
yeah.
Okay, no, this is the one for the Mother's Day. They're gonna be doing a multicultural Mother's Day for the city. I think it sounds really interesting.
Yeah,
Yeah, and that was, the, Washington County,
you're right.
yeah.
Um,
Yeah, I'm,
That's with Casa Guadalupe, we're gonna work with them and do Mother's Day.
what was that?
Casa Guadalupe.
Multicultural
Mother's Day
celebration, yeah.
Yeah, it's gonna be a big deal.
Yeah, I think it's gonna be a big deal, because they've been working on rounding up people and things like that, so I think it's kinda cool.
You don't know the date of that yet.
No, it's just for next
It'll be
May,
around.
Mother's Day. Okay, and I do wanna thank the foundation for doing that. That was the old Washington County Campus Foundation that did scholarships. And they've changed their mission now. They still do scholarships, not strictly to Washington County, because it's no longer there. They do scholarships for Washington County students, and they've expanded their definition into doing programs and stuff, so. Okay, I did have a question. Oh, it looks like the county money came in.
Yep,
That's why we went up. Okay. All right. Any other questions for Joseph or Steve regarding the finances?
I always make fun of that 9 cents of interest when I do my report to the council. I'm like, we got
Right.
9 cents of interest on this checking account.
But in reality, the report that comes out quarterly from Carrie, we get a lot more from the city. every quarter they give us that information
Right.
for them holding our fund balances.
Yeah.
But yeah, so you just have to,
Yeah, I gotta have,
Poke-
I gotta
poke.
have something to liven up the report, you know, it's like, yeah. You
now.
gotta
to liven-
remember who I'm talking to.
Wasn't all of the water damage enough to liven it up last time?
Did you hear my report?
No. I'll be honest, I didn't.
Oh, okay.
There are
It's on
times when-
YouTube, right?
I know it's on YouTube, I can go watch it.
You can watch it again and again.
Yeah. All right.
I'm saving them for the Brett Berquist Library.
Oh.
So when I'm done with my civic duties,
All
I'll start my own library. And I'll have
Moving on.
experience.
The library director's report.
Is that my turn already?
Yes, sir.
I was trying to,
I know, ease me into it. I can tell you that today was the day they were supposed to start receiving carpeting and tile for the front entryway in the basement. They won't have the matching carpet for the main area until, well, later in October. The production date was set for October 16th. It could come in sooner. But we are waiting for starting any carpeting until the drywall work is done in the basement. So, because they're gonna start in the basement, get that all done, and then do the entryway for our library, and then we'll have to wait until they get the rest of the product.
Is the drywall contracted out or is the city doing
Yep,
that?
and it's supposed to start this week, so it should, some people say this doesn't take too long. I gave them 2 weeks to get the drywall up and finished, and it shouldn't be too long of a process, but finishing drywall is a little bit more labor intensive, I think, so. The Friends of the Library are planning to do their book sale in November. They're working in the area that was not affected by or that
Neighbor asked.
we don't have carpeting. That's it. So that's going ahead. The WLA conference is coming up. That's later in October. I think the cost, I didn't see a track. I gave the same spiel to the friends. I didn't see a track specifically for library board members. In some conferences, they have a track for library board members or friends of the library. But Miss Wisconsin will be there, so that's exciting.
So you're planning on going then?
Yeah, I'll be there for some of the time anyway. I think I'll be there for the whole thing, actually.
Was Amber speaking at that?
Amber's speaking
Because I
at
read that,
She's
yeah.
doing her digital friendship bracelets program. And we've got three other staff members that are going for part of the time.
Part of it, yeah.
Yeah.
You'd have to close the library down if you got all of those going out for the whole conference.
Right?
what was that Amber was doing? Digital?
Digital friendship bracelets. And just as a
Do
heads.
they videotape some of that if somebody wanted to watch like the Amber presentation?
I don't think they do that, but we will have the presentation, we're planning to do it at our in-service, coming up
Okay.
October 27th. So we can see if we videotape it then, so.
Okay.
I don't think it's for public consumption really, I think it's just our,
No, and I didn't mean it really for public. I just thought maybe, you could send out to the board members or something to see that.
they did just do digital what do they call this, digital days, tech days for the library, so that most of it was on AI sessions. I went to several of those, Brad went to a couple, I think. I don't know how many other staff did it, so that was interesting, and there'll be more to come there. And a long time ago, I went to the conference in Pennsylvania, and we talked about that. That's actually coming together. The work is under review right now. I can't share anything at this point, but we're planning to release that in June of next year at the ALA conference. I don't know if they'll ask me to be a speaker at that or not, but I'll be on the paper. And that is on privacy literacy.
That was at work. You were on like what do you call it? You worked in a group, that was your
Yeah.
program. I
Breakout
remember you
session,
talked about that.
like a breakout session, or?
It
No,
prob-
it was like, oh. go
Well,
on.
we did the conference, they flew me out, when we had money. They flew us out to Pennsylvania, to start the work. And then we've been doing the work since then. They dropped the funding for the project, but we're still finishing it and releasing the.
And that was
results.
grant funding, it wasn't library
Yeah,
or city
it was
funding.
grant funding, yeah. All of it was paid for by the grant,
Right.
everything up to the point where they stopped funding us
Was
was
paid.
paid for by the grant, so.
So that was a project that they had wanted to do anywhere else.
Yeah, it's
I
quite,
remember
it's
that.
quite a lot of good information.
Good.
And someday I'll be able to share with you.
Good. Anything else on your report?
I think that's enough, probably.
Okay. Well, moving on to the library board president's report, the only thing I wanted to mention, if you weren't going to, is that the chiller will be coming in December, so
Oh, good
just in
timing.
time
Yeah.
for the good weather. Yeah. But what can you say? Hopefully it won't get too hot. It was really hot this past couple of days in here.
Yeah.
We had the heating turned on for a brief time when it was cold out. It was heating up a lot of the library. They turned that off yesterday, so the temperature's come down quite a bit already.
You have to remember that now.
Yeah.
You didn't know that they had turned the heating on?
I knew they turned it on. I didn't know how hot it was gonna get.
Okay.
And then,
It's always hard when the weather is like this, whether you're,
well, and something surprising to the friends of the library, when I told them, it's not easy. You know, we have 2 building maintenance guys for all the buildings in West Bend. That's it. So they've got to do, in the fall, they'll be closing the parks. They'll have to be shutting off water and all that stuff. Anything that comes up as a building need, they have to do. So when they say it's time to do something at the library, we just say, okay, and we tolerate it. And then they come back and they say, well, we can turn this back off now, and then we work with that. So once we get the new chiller in, life will be good.
yeah, it's December. You don't need to worry
Yeah.
about it for at least 7 months.
Yeah.
Okay, that's it for the library board president report. Agenda items for consideration. Number 1 was the Monarch Library System membership agreement.
The membership agreement was just for your information that we did this. It was signed in 2019.
And basically, item F, Appendix F, is being added to it.
Yeah.
So Steve wanted to include it in the board packet to show you what the agreement was, and this is an addendum. When they do the addendum though, they'll need to revise their date on there. Because they just said last updated, I think, 2019, and if we put this in, this will be changed.
Yeah.
So it's 5 years old.
Right, and then they'll have to,
Resign probably.
yeah, okay, so I'm gonna move on to the next one right away.
Yes.
Since I explained the agreement. Project F is new IT projects. This is just we're all gonna play nice with each other, and since Monarch oversees the data lines, the ILS system, the security on all that, it's just saying we can't put things on that network that aren't approved by them, so we can't put something on there that would cause a security issue.
Okay.
And they need time to review anything that we put on that network. And this is the play nice agreement of, it affects everybody on the network if we put something on there that might cause a problem.
Okay, I have a question. If we rearrange the library like we were in talks that we might do,
Yep,
would that be a requirement to let them know, because we may be moving the computers that are upstairs?
no.
No.
No, only if we were to add something. For example, some libraries have automated hold lockers now. And some companies work well with our ILS system. Some companies do not work well with our ILS system.
Okay.
Some companies, the Monarch has had a chance to look at what they do for how it's going to connect to our network. But if for example, Tom's locker system comes up with something and it may cause security flaws, or it might not be easy for them to integrate into our library system, the monarch would have the right to say, no, you're not going to work with Tom's network so.
Now, the other thing in here for large equipment was an automated materials handle. Would that be the book sorter that we had talked about?
Yep, that would be the book sorter.
In the event we would.
In the event we would go forward with that, we would talk to them about what we intend to purchase. They would talk to the vendor probably to make sure that there's nothing that we're not buying a fly-by-night kind of item. I wouldn't do that anyway. I'd want to have something that's tested and true in other libraries before I put it on our floor.
So mainly, what I'm getting the understanding is they're looking to make sure that if we are going to be doing a project, they want to know about it and have, they wouldn't stop us from doing a handler, putting in book handler, but they want to make sure we have a compliant.
Yep, that's part of it. And also that they have the time to help us integrate that into the ILS system. So they're limited capacity. I mean, there are 3 people right now, or 4 maybe, I don't know.
When I was up there were 2.
Yeah. So it comes and goes, like everything.
No, it's good to know though, because
Yeah.
we were talking about a book sorter, and
And if every library decides they're gonna upgrade their computers next year at the same week, that's gonna be a lot of work for them, so they need to be able to plan that out, so. That's essentially what this is about.
okay. Does anyone have any questions regarding Appendix F? It is just a draft copy, so.
I'd get the official copy sometime in the next couple weeks, I imagine, and the board would authorize me to sign it, and that'd be what the motion would be.
Would someone like to make a motion to allow Steve to sign this draft, or not to sign the Appendix F, the final version of Appendix F that comes from Monarch?
I'll make a motion.
Do we have a second?
Is there a deadline on when this needs to be signed? Like, could we see the final and then approve the signature?
Well, we approved this last Thursday, if that helps.
The Monarch Board approved.
Okay,
This
so
word-
this is the
that
final
helps.
one.
This is probably the
This looks
final.
identical to what
Yeah.
I saw.
Okay,
So
okay.
if that helps.
They just did not send the final version to us yet, which is coming soon,
Which
I
makes
imagine.
sense. They
But
wanted
we
us
did
to
not
look
make
at
any
it from a
changes.
draft or
Yeah.
anything. It makes sense, because they don't want to say, we're sending you a final version, and we're gonna say, well, we wanted to see the final version before.
Yeah.
So,
That makes sense. Then-
Okay.
Then I second.
okay, should we put the statement in there, though, that if they make a change, okay?
We'll bring it back to the board
Okay.
at that time, and they just have to wait, and that's fine.
And,
What would even happen if we declined it?
kick us out.
They could
What would
kick
happen
you
if
out.
we declined it? Like, does anything even happen? If we didn't sign it?
Then we wouldn't be,
If you read
it'd be
the,
part of the
Oh, part of the
termination of the membership.
Yeah.
We'd have to
Okay.
Go through that.
So it's the whole membership we're agreeing to, not just the addition of the
Yes.
appendix.
Right, but
Okay.
we need to include this because it's new.
right, we had already
Consider
approved
it
the,
because
yes, we approved the other one. This is just adding this to that.
Yeah.
Okay.
Okay? Everybody got that? We have a motion and a second to approve Appendix F. Is there any other further discussion? I kind of do things backward. We discussed and then I vote. You
I
can-
think
you
that's the
can-
way you're supposed to do it.
I think so
really.
too.
No, technically.
It
Motion
seems
second,
weird, but
discussion,
I know, I've
vote.
always thought it seemed weird.
Yeah, okay. Well, do we have any further discussion? If not, all in favor of the vote, say aye.
Aye.
Opposed? Motion carries. Okay. Now, one of our favorite subjects, budget. Has anything changed from the last time?
I did make some minor changes. I brought down building maintenance, and I think brought down the collection a little bit. There will be a couple, I anticipate a couple more changes. Employee wages may change. We did reevaluate a position to put that position on the wage scale, so that person will have an adjustment. Also, our bilingual position will be paying a little bit more than we anticipated for that as well.
We will. I don't think we really have to re-vote on this again, do we?
No,
Because this isn't the final version or anything,
it's
so.
not, yeah, it's not the final version. And we did talk, we did go over it with the new administrator and Kitty and Colin from finance last Friday. So it's been reviewed. There may be some adjustments beyond what I said leading into the city council meeting. It may not as well, so it might be as it stands, or just those two adjustments that I talked about.
Okay, because it looks like on your schedule, the October 6th would be to present the budget to the council?
I believe that's when it is.
Yeah, okay.
And they're all on board for it.
They're all on board?
By that time.
They're all on board.
Oh,
Yeah, by
okay.
that time.
Okay, any questions for Steve regarding the budget?
All right, CIP, there's a couple changes there, and I was gonna print it out, and I don't know what happened to my printout. But, of course, we aren't doing the slate, because that was part of the damage that we got, so the $80,000 comes out of our CIP budget there. The train chiller we had put in for next year, along with the Mammoth, and 1.5 million something. We are taking care of the train this year. The Mammoth, I'm very comfortable pushing that off. I learned today that building maintenance is going to have an engineer come and look at the Mammoth and see what needs to be replaced or what we should expect out of it and come up with a good plan of action for it. Since I've been here, we've replaced at least one blower fan motor, one compressor. I believe we replaced 2 frequency drives. And so the cool thing about it is a lot of the stuff can be replaced and modified. It's not like the train unit where when it dies, it just dies, and you don't have to buy specific parts for it. So the compressor was a Tecumseh compressor. What's it?
Alan Bradley.
Alan Bradley was for the pulse drives.
They still do them. Well,
Okay, Rockwell, so,
Well,
yeah.
maintenance said Alan Bradley, he's been around a long time.
It's gonna be Alan Bradley, but maybe, yeah.
Yeah,
But
you're probably right as well.
so we've got those companies that can service those parts of the unit. I guess and it won't be down for long if we have something that goes down, so.
But Steve's been in some good communications with the city, and I popped in one day and they were talking about the Mammoth, and so they're keeping tabs on it, which is good.
But we are gonna push that one down the line, so it's not gonna be hitting it was $1 million some for next yeyear, and everyone breathed a sigh of relief when I said, we're gonna push that off. We're gonna come up with a plan and try to take care of this a different way. I'd hate to get rid of something that pretty much works, and put something up there that might not be as great. So if we can keep that thing running, that's wonderful.
Anything new on the CIP?
Yes, we did get a final, or not a final, we got a budget number for the generator. Our generator that we have doesn't power much of anything at all. So we pay to maintain this thing, but I think it works like 6 outlets in the whole library. And if we have a power outage and this becomes an emergency shelter, that's not enough. We need to have the whole thing running. So the $350,000 was the cost for a generator to be added. So I don't know how that'll work into the CIP, if that'll be something that they consider putting in place of the Mammoth.
Question on that, maybe, have you thought about talking to the county to get a little aid? Because it is the county that is also an emergency, we're in that agreement, so
Yeah.
they might be more, county's been good, I'm not saying that, but you know, it's one of those things that maybe they could kick in and help us with.
Well, in 7 years, they would have paid for the generator with the continued capital improvement funding, so we can look at it that way. And we can ask them if they want to give more to capital improvements, but I don't know. Well,
Okay.
we'll see what happens. So I would look at it that way, like, as a county member, that they give more than they need to give already.
They do.
I can ask. We'll see what happens. I'm not counting on it.
Never hurts to ask. Okay, and you don't have to ask if you want, I just threw
Well,
that out figuring, you know,
yeah.
we did reach an agreement,
Yeah.
but we just signed that agreement as a emergency shelter, and if we're down.
So, just so you're aware, this would be, you know, they'd have to pour a concrete pad and put a fence around it. It wouldn't be a beautiful work of art in our parking lot or our area back there, but it's something that we need to do, I think.
Where's the generator now?
It's in the basement,
That's what I thought.
underneath Brad's office.
Actually, it looks this time.
Okay. Because I know the building next door to me, he bought, when he had all the power on, he figured a generator for his business, and it's the size of this room.
Yeah, that's what I was like,
Yeah.
how
It's not
much
tall, but it's very long.
of the parking lot is it gonna take?
Well, I don't know, I didn't.
But it is a good idea to replace it, yeah.
Yeah, I agree.
Anything else for CPI?
That's it, that's all I got.
CIP.
CPI too, I mean,
yeah.
it's changing every day. Well, not really.
Okay, item number 5, vending machine.
All right. You can talk.
I discovered, because Steve told me like a couple days before they were gonna be putting the vending machine in, that we're getting a vending machine. And I guess my feeling on that is I understand the library has they're responsible, but I think a vending machine, because I think we have to enter into a contract with a firm. See, that's just me. I'm not comfortable in having a vending machine which we don't have a contract. And part of my reason for thinking about that is, okay, I'm Jane Doe. I put my buck in there and I don't get it. Do I go to the library and do they have to deal with that? You know, there's little things that I don't know, it was just me. It was kind of a, maybe if I had heard about it prior, I wouldn't have been concerned, but I have a concern.
Where is this located?
Upstairs, at the top of the steps. The vending machine is, it's not a contract, but they are going to give us 10% of the sales. If we decide we don't want the vending machine, we can call them up and say, take this thing away from the library. We don't maintain it, and I did ask them to have some kind of contact information put on the vending machine if anybody has any issues with it. They did have to come back and reprogram it because it was giving out more soda than people requested.
It's like a winning lottery.
So it was like that.
So I guess, that was my feeling. Does the board have any concerns? I mean, I know it took a lot even for us to get the coffee pot when we got there.
Deb, I got a question.
Sure.
Or maybe a concern. So we deal with these here, and just maybe I'm a little shy on this without a contract on what right do I have now to kick them out? What reasoning can I kick them out? Is it product? Is it service? Is it the machine is causing us problem? The electrical? What if they don't want to give me my money that is owed to me? I'm not necessarily against the vending machine, though I would prefer a contract that tells me how much money we're getting. And I've been in that situation where I've had to fight against vendors who put vending machines in. And that contract would be a huge piece of that. Doesn't have to be a lot, but that piece of paper that agrees to who's paying for what and who's covering for what, I think for our own liability, we should have that, but that's just my belief.
Thank you, that was a good observation. Anyone else have any? Joseph, you're sitting.
I think it would be a good idea to at least have it in writing what's going on with it, but
So was this just all verbal then, Steve?
This is all verbal.
Okay. Which,
Once we put something in the contract, then, then we have to honor a contract if we say we don't want it anymore. And it says you have to give them 60-day notice, and we have to do all these other things, then we're bound as well. So if the board really thinks they want a contract, that will be limiting us as well. It's not always a one-sided thing then. Right now, I can call them and say, hey, take this thing away. But I'll tell you what, patrons are using it. They like it. Staff uses it. So, I don't see a reason why we shouldn't have a vending machine in the library.
This is,
I'm sorry, what was that?
what is me, do we have, cash on hand there? Cause, like Tim said, it's like, when somebody, don't get their candy bar or whatever on a machine, you gotta go to the front desk and get some cash, and then you might be prone to somebody coming in knowing you have cash there. Because of that, you get robbed. I'm just out there.
Okay. So what he's saying is, if a patron comes and needs change, say a $20 bill, because it's $1 vending machine, do we provide that? And if we do, could someone view that we're carrying cash and open us up to robbery?
Just like
Quick Trip.
copies, like people
Yeah, we
get
can
copies
get
all the
copies.
time, people
Do,
pay for printouts all the time, so we can,
do we give them change?
sure, we give them change.
So we do,
Yeah.
okay. Okay,
We want to help ourselves up to that stuff too, additional things, challenges. That's my point.
And there's, they can also use a credit card to
Let's
purchase,
see.
so.
All the new credit.
oh, yeah, I'm still living in the dark ages, I'm a cash gal.
Yeah, you didn't see these
But
prices
the thing
though.
goes to is your credit card, and sometimes the machines don't work well, and it doesn't drop down, and somebody doesn't get their food, then you have cash or something, a mechanism there to reimburse these people, but they'll be like, man.
Oh, we don't do that.
A sandwich,
No.
what do you do with that?
We don't deal with that, we would have the person who had the problem, we would contact the company and say, this is the person, here's the contact information who has the issue, or the other way around. Usually have them call the company.
Drama than needed, because it's like, I'm my candy bar now, I wait 3 or 4 weeks, 5 months, a month, whatever it is, get my reimbursement. It's a hassle. Maybe we don't need to, library doesn't need to invest in, that's my point.
If they don't come with the contact information, you must have their phone number.
Yep.
Can't you make a little, and stick it on there?
Yep,
Say,
we can add
we
that.
are not responsible, please call
I
this
was
number.
hoping they were gonna put that on there.
Yeah, but if they don't, in a week or so,
Yep, we can put it up there.
that should solve that problem. Say, we're
And
not
they're
responsible.
usually responsive, like within a day they'll be out here if there's a problem.
Yeah.
So,
Okay, well, we don't have to vote on anything, because we have the vending machine. I guess I would just ask that if we start having issues, that you would let the board know.
Is there any concern about food, mess, spillage? No? Okay. If you're okay with having,
we have food in the library, that's one of our policy changes, we didn't say we aren't gonna have food in the library.
Okay.
People are hungry, they wanna eat, they're gonna do it anyway, and if they're doing something that's messy, we would say that's, first of all, they need to clean up after themselves.
Yeah.
And if it's a problem, they'd be kicked out of the library if they're disturbing. Like if they bring in their roast chicken and their
Fried chicken, not
fried
roast,
chicken,
fried.
whatever.
That
either way.
smells more. Yeah, I remember there.
That would be a problem if it's disturbing others.
chicken.
I thought a whole KFC once I was there, so.
That was before my time, didn't have anything to do with the vending machine.
Okay,
So-
all right, if nothing else,
Well, if it's a way to generate some more income, and what, the 10% you're gonna get, what is that going to go funneled into, what those funds, or just general operating or something,
Donations,
donations?
more books maybe,
Okay.
whatever we need. It's, when we hit the midpoint of, our funding is average of Wisconsin libraries, then we'll have more concerns about what we're gonna
Okay,
spend it
well,
on,
if
but
you-
we always have needs, because we're not there yet.
If you specifically said vending machine funds are gonna go for books or whatever, it's gonna go into general operating, whatever, what you need.
Yeah.
Okay.
We're not mentioning it, because, I don't want people to feel like that's.
you may not get much depending on how it is, or you may get a lot, so I guess till it,
Okay.
Well, don't you have a line item in the budget? Because you had a vending
Yeah,
machine
vending.
and all that, wouldn't that fall under that? If there's any proceeds?
Yeah, because Keurig is the same thing as vending.
Right.
Yeah, so it cancels itself out in this case, or currently. The new income won't be much more, probably.
Okay.
okay. Any other questions? Otherwise, we're gonna move on. And by moving on, we get to say the next meeting will be October 21st. I can't believe it's the fourth quarter already starting. Assigned tasks?
There weren't any.
Oh,
There aren't, I don't.
okay.
Hooray.
Wow. Is that a first?
Kids out, yeah.
Okay. With that, we will adjourn into closed session. I'd like to entertain a motion to adjourn into closed session pursuant to State Statutes Section 19.851C, considering employment, promotion, compensation, or performance evaluation data of an employee over which the governing body has jurisdiction or exercises responsibility. Library director evaluation.
I make a motion to go into closed session, we don't have to do verbal.
Yes, okay. Do we have a second?
I second.
We have a motion and a second. Because we're going into closed session, I think everyone has to do it individually. So, Jill.
Aye. Oh,
Brett, you're first, sure.
Aye.
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 I.
He
Okay.
doesn't get to vote.
Jay and Tim and Jesse, you just,
Aye.
okay. We will go into closed session.